Let's talk the club. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk the club. Ooh.
Hey everybody, it's Cutler here, the Let's Talk to Cutler virtual book club, the Let's Talk to Cutler YouTube channel, the Let's Talk to Cutler platform where we meet every Tuesday and Thursday for about 1800 seconds to share some inspiration, share some motivation, and to challenge ourselves to show up a little bit better tomorrow than we did today, and to see if we showed up better today than we did yesterday. And of course, at the end of it all, we want to make sure that we're challenging ourselves to always show up our best selves, even in the worst of situations. So that's what we're here talking about. I'm so thankful for another Tuesday that I get to spend with you all. 1800 seconds is a lot of time. And then sometimes when you start talking real good, it doesn't seem like it's a lot of time, but we'll try to cover a lot of ground tonight. We're already crossed the threshold for half the month of May. And I just want to know how you all are doing. What's going on with you? Are you checking in with yourselves? Are you checking in on the people in your life? Are you making sure that your communities are still tight? Are you making sure that your circles are still intact and that everybody is doing well? Are you making sure that your village is still whole and strong and powerful? Of course, we check in every Tuesday and Thursday, but when we leave this platform, are we checking in with each other? I don't know where that came from, but that was just an admonition for me to check to see if we are checking in on each other. Check on the people in your lives. Make sure that they are whole. Make sure that they are well. Check on the young folk. Don't take them for granted. I know sometimes young people are active and strong, and it seems like they have so much energy, but they have challenges and things that they go through, things that they endure as well. So make sure you check on them. Check on the elderly. A lot of times our elderly people are starting to check out because they think that they've spent a significant amount of their lives and doing what they do and doing it well. And then sometimes they feel discarded, thrown away, and they feel disregarded. So make sure that you check on them. And then make sure that you check on that middle, that working population, those people who are still doing what they're doing and they're thriving. And sometimes it seems like they are in auto mode, they're in automatic mode. So make sure that you just check in on people. Make sure that you check in on caregivers, people who are taking care of other people. Make sure that you check in on parents, because a lot of times parents don't have other parents that they can chit chat about it, that they can chit chat with. And people have different parenting skills, and a lot of times how I run my house is how I run my house, and I don't necessarily have to share that with anybody else, but we still go through stresses and strains. So enough about all that, but just make sure that you check in on the people in your life. If there's somebody that you haven't heard from in a while, check on them. Just pick up the phone, call them, text them, or something, but check on people. And I posed that, you all, because I was reading this article, and I'll share that with you all, and that's going to be the crux of what we talk about this evening. The article was a reminder to pay attention to life. And of course, when I start thinking about paying attention to life, I think about paying attention to people. Listen, let me just remind people, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because all of that good talking, you know, people say things like that. I'm talking real good. I'm talking real good. But no, seriously, go ahead, and if you haven't, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And then after you subscribe, go ahead and hit the notification button, because it lets me know. And it doesn't let me know anything. It lets you know whenever I've gone live. Cutler, what are you doing? It lets you know whenever I've gone live and whenever I've uploaded new content. That was really funny to me. When you subscribe, it lets me know when you're on. Today is just one of those days. It's been a carefree day. It's been a fun day. For me, it really, really has. So let me finish that thought, and I'll come back to what I was going to say. Whenever you subscribe, click the notification bell. It lets you know whenever I've gone live and whenever I've uploaded new content. And I'm telling you all that life is just happening today. And sometimes you just have to stop and you have to laugh. You all know that I had a second surgery on my ankle, reconstructive surgery. It's been almost a month. It's been 4 weeks ago today. And just before broadcast time, I was sitting there, and I was talking on the phone. I was talking with someone, and I said, "Oh, you know what? I have time to get up and go and turn the computer on, and yeah, I could just jump up and just run and get myself together." And then I thought, "You can't even walk. How are you going to run?" And I just stopped and I laughed, and then I said, "Get yourself together and get down there and turn that laptop on." But sometimes you just have to laugh at yourself, and I think that's what I'm doing today. But it has been such a wonderful day, and the article that I was reading, that's what I want to share you all. Let me shout out the LTTC VIPs for this evening, just so that you all know that I do see you in the chat. So come on over in the chat. The three people from my end who it looks like made it into the chat first are T. Cutler, Hattie Boone, and Annie Cutler. So hello to all of you. It's always good to see you, Marissa and Paula D as well. So everybody, come on in the chat and let's talk for a while. I was reading this article about the lessons that we need to learn from life, and you all talk back to me in the chat this evening, if you don't mind. I was thinking as I read that article, the impetus for me writing a couple of the books that I've written, we don't always get it right the first time. Lessons for the Next Generation. That book for me was about sharing some of the lessons that life has taught me, sharing some of the lessons that life has taught me through the people who are important to me, the people in my life, and of course, and then this book, Billboards to Better: 366 Data Sources of Motivation and Inspiration Along the Highway of Life. This book also, the impetus of this book was the inspiration that we get from life and the lessons that we want to share in life, and perspectives that we want people to take in life. And that's what those books were about. And some of the things that I read in this article today were thoughts that I've had, thoughts that I've shared, lessons that I've learned, things that I ascribe to. So I want to just highlight some of those, you all. Life is happening, whether we want it to or not. Life is happening. And as life is happening, life is teaching us some things. And one of the things that we have to make sure about is that we are learning. We have to make sure that we are learning the lessons, because I was reading something when a lot of times people will say, why is this happening to me? And this is just a matter of perspective. And I'll get into the meat of our conversation this evening. I promise I will. But a lot of times people will say things like, why is this happening to me? Woe is me. But I think that things will change. Things will take a different turn, will take a different look. The popular word is shift. Things will shift if you change your focus from why is this happening to me to what is this trying to teach me? What is life trying to teach me? Things will shift when you realize that it's not just that something is happening to you, but you are participating in a lesson, in a real lab, if you will, where you should try to learn something. And so I want to talk about this. What is life teaching me? Am I listening to life? Am I watching life? Am I getting my cues from life? Am I paying attention to what's going on? As I was reading this article, and I can't remember, but when I remember where I saw it, I'll share that with you. One of the things that we have to remember is that you don't want to learn the lessons the hard way. Nobody wants to learn lessons the hard way. I'm so thankful that I have people in my life who can teach me, and I really listen and I glean from what they have gone through, what they have endured, because none of us really want to learn lessons the hard way. People have this saying, a hard head makes a soft behind. I don't want to learn the hard way. It doesn't make sense. When there are alternatives and you can learn easier than a hard way, why not listen to somebody who has gone that route before? It's senseless. Let's learn from other people's mistakes. Let's learn from their lessons. Let's learn by believing that what they say is true. Let's learn from believing and accepting the fact that they really do have a reason for being in our lives. A lot of times people are in your lives to teach you something, not to give you something, but to teach you something. And when I say give you something, I mean tangible. It's not that they are here to give you something tangible. A lot of times it is to give you the wisdom of their years. It is to give you the benefit of their experience. Those are gifts that we get from people, you all, to get the wisdom of somebody else's years and the benefits of their experience. You can't pay for that. So be thankful that there are people who are giving you those intangible gifts, wisdom and benefits. We need to be thankful for that. And so right now, if you're in the chat, just think about think about the people whose lives you are thankful for, because they are giving you the benefit of their experience and they're giving you the wisdom of their years. Be thankful. Be thankful for that. I want to share some snippets from this lesson that I was reading. One of the lessons that one of the things that this article mentioned today was that in terms of learning from life, remember, and in terms of a lot of things, you all, it's not personal. It rarely ever is. Things are not always personal. When I was younger, I would take everything personally. Oh, this is happening to me for some reason, and woe is me. Listen, things happen, you all. People who cut you off in traffic, this is just as an example. People who cut you off in traffic, most of the time they don't even know you. People who cut you, who will cut the line, people up in front of you, they don't even know you. We get upset with people because they cut us off in traffic. Half the time, those folk don't know us from a hill of beans. That's country, that's southern of me, but they don't know us from a hill of beans. They're just trying to get ahead. They're just trying to move in front. They're just trying to do what they do. Most of the times, the bad things that happen in life are not personal. And even if it is personal, you have to say to yourself, you know what? It doesn't even matter. Your life will turn out better if you treat those personal things as if they weren't personal. Okay, so you really did intend to cut me off. Okay, you know what? I'm not even gonna take it personally. That's fine. I'm not even gonna take it personally. But let's try not to take things personally. And that way you won't feel vindictive and feel like you have to get the people back for what they did to you. If we could teach our young folk that, stop taking stuff personally and going on the attack. Most of the time, people don't care that much about us to even do anything personally towards us. That's one thing. Let life teach you that everything is not personal. Can you all teach our young people that? People who are in our lives, we need to teach them that. They want to cuss people out about everything. They want to fight about everything, but stuff rarely is personal. Rarely is stuff as personal as they would like to make it. How about we share that with our nieces and nephews and children and grandchildren and brothers and sisters and with ourselves? It's not that personal. It's not that personal. It's just not that personal. That's one lesson that life has taught me. Another lesson, and I agree with the article, something else that this article said was that you should never make anyone feel small. Let's stop making people feel small. Stop making people feel small. A lot of times we make ourselves feel small as well. So that's a whole lot. That's another whole issue. But let's not make people feel small. Why would you say that, Cutler? Because a lot of times what you give is what you get. When we shortchange people, we try to make them feel small, we try to make them feel worthless, who really is making themselves feel small? Who's making themselves look small and look worthless? If we have to go on the attack to make people feel small and to look small, you're really saying more about yourself than you're saying about them. Marissa says, children will respond to someone over the smallest thing, bumping into them, being talked about. They will. That's because you're absolutely right, because we've taught our children, we're teaching them to go on the attack. Somebody bumped into them. It was personal. Talking about them is personal. A lot of times folk just talk about people that they hear other people talk about, especially young folk. You just happen to be the source of the joke today. Guess what? Somebody else will be the source of the joke tomorrow. And then somebody else will be the source of the joke the next day. It just happens. So we have to teach our young people, we have to teach our children, we have to teach them to stop taking things personally. We have to teach them that, you all. Otherwise, we're gonna have a generation of people who are just hyper and ultra hyper and hypersensitive about everything. Oh, they're talking about me. Let me get them back. They're talking about me. Let me take a gun to school. They're talking about me. Let me stab them. They're talking about all of that kind of stuff is going on. I'm not saying that some of this is not valid and some of it is not true, but by far and large, we have to teach people, stop taking stuff so personally. You just happen to be the butt of the joke today. Guess what? Your friend will be the butt of the joke tomorrow, and then somebody else will be the butt of the joke another day. We have a whole lot to teach. And we've got to teach parents to teach their children. I'm so thankful. I'm appreciative of people who are working in elementary and secondary education, because they put up with a whole lot. I'm so thankful that my most recent years of teaching didn't deal with elementary and secondary education. It was always post-secondary education. By the time I taught my students were college and university students, so I was able to really talk to people who developed some resilience, if you will, and who had developed some level of temperament and self-control. But stuff is not personal. Color, keep on going, keep on going. And then again, don't try to make people feel small, because when you try to make people feel small, it says more about you than it does about them. Let life teach us that. When you talk about people in a negative fashion, it says a lot about you. It says a whole lot about you. And then let's always try to grow. The article put it like this, you all. The article says if you stop stretching, then you'll contract. Let's always push ourselves to grow. Your mind, your body, your creativity, your dreams, your hopes, your ambition. Always stretch your mind, stretch your goals, stretch your vision, stretch your ambition, stretch your hopes, stretch your desires, stretch your dreams. You just keep stretching, because the moment you stop stretching, then they begin to contract and get smaller. It's like a rubber band. You got to keep pulling it and pulling it and pulling it and stretching it and going beyond where it is. And when you get there, make sure that you don't allow it to then spring back and contract. I'm not saying you have to pull it until it breaks, but don't stop learning. Don't stop growing. Don't stop developing your creativity. Don't stop developing your mind. That's really, when people say, how do I stay young? Well, that's really how you stay youthful. I won't say young, because the goal is to get old. That's the goal. Oh, you look so old, or you're getting older. That's the goal. Hello, that's the goal. And then, you all, I need to put my glasses on to read this, because I made a note. Listen to this and tell me what you all think. The article that I was reading today said everything is a lie. Let me finish it. Stop spending your time debating whether something is true or not. Imagine it to be all lies, and choose the lie that's going to make you take resourceful action. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but assume that everything, or not, don't assume that everything is a lie, but from the perspective of debating, the article says, imagine everything that you're debating is a lie. And then the goal is to uncover the truth. It's kind of counterintuitive. That was just philosophical reading. But here's the one that I felt more conviction for. The article says, life should teach us that not giving up doesn't mean holding on when you're wrong. Oh my goodness. We need to just make a billboard, a t-shirt, or do something and say that so people get it. A lot of people say, oh, I'm not giving up. I'm just not giving up. Auntie, my friend, it's so good to see you. I'm talking about lessons that we're learning from life because I want us to not ask ourselves, why is this happening to me? But I want us to ask ourselves, what is it that I'm learning from life? Because I think that many of us forget that people are in our lives for so many reasons. They are gifts. They are gifts, good, bad, or indifferent. They are gifts because they help us to learn something. Many times it is the wisdom of their years. Sometimes it is the experience, the benefit of their experiences that we get. And so that's what we're talking about. So it's always good to see you, my friend. But one of the things that life should teach us, you all, is that not giving up does not mean holding on when you're wrong. I know a lot of people say things like, listen, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. But when you are wrong, turn it loose, let go. When when you know that what you're doing is right, that's one thing. But can I tell you this? When you know that what you're doing is wrong, but you want to hold on because you don't want others to think of you as a quitter or as a failure, what good is that? What benefit is in that? What merit is in that? What noteworthiness is in holding on when you know that you're wrong? It's time to pivot and quit it and let it go. So yes, don't give up. Keep going, keep pushing and doing all that you know to do. But there's a distinct difference between not giving up and holding on when you know you're wrong. I hope y'all got that. Then here's another I want to offer us. I just want to offer this just for the what we call in the legal arena the benefit of the bargain. I would just want to toss this one out, you all. Of course, it sounds very philosophical when I was reading it, but I was reading this article again about are you learning from life? Are you learning the lessons that life is trying to teach? This was one, you all, it sounded so theoretical, but ultimately it made so much sense. Have you all ever heard the notion that says fail to succeed? I know we've probably heard if you fail to plan, then you've planned to fail. We've heard that one, right? How many of y'all have heard that one? But have you ever heard that in life you should fail to succeed? I'm going to let that one sink in for about 3 seconds. Three, two, one. Let me keep on going. Fail to succeed. It did not make sense to me at first, but I thought about it, and the basic notion, the basic concept behind this idea of failing to succeed. You all may want to share this one with your friends and your loved ones and your communities and your circles and your networks and your children. People in your life fail to succeed. Cutler, that doesn't make sense. Why would I fail at succeeding? Who wants to fail when you're trying to succeed? Here's the crux of it. Think about the last things that you've tried to do, the last projects that you've attempted, the last endeavors that you found yourself in. Think about all of those things. And here is the question, you all: how successful were you? If you achieved all of them, absolutely wonderful. Bravo. I applaud you. Excellent. Great job. Kudos. But here is the interesting thing. Marissa, you're right. Learn from being unsuccessful. That's really the crux of this lesson. It's great if you have succeeded at everything. If you have achieved everything that you want, that's absolutely wonderful. But here is what I want you to know. If you have achieved every single thing that you've ever tried, if you've reached every goal that you've set, if you have scaled to whatever ambitions you set, if you've accomplished it all, guess what? You're not stepping out of your comfort zone enough. Go bigger until you miss the mark. Fail to succeed. Because when you fail to succeed, you'll keep trying. You'll keep growing. You'll step out of your comfort zone. You'll stop relying on everything and everybody that you know, and you'll tap into another strength that you didn't think that you had, but it was there all the time, waiting to be nurtured, waiting to be called upon. So fail to succeed. Set goals, and when you miss the mark, it's okay. Really, Cutler? Yes, really. It is okay. When you sometimes miss the mark, it is okay. None of us score a 100% all the time. And if you're used to scoring 100% all the time, you haven't stepped out of your comfort zone enough. I hope I'm helping somebody this evening, you all. That's what life teaches us a lot of times. You want to know why there are negative people in your lives? You want to know why there's negativity in your life happening a lot of times? It is to get you out of your comfort zone. It is to get you into something new, something unfamiliar, to tap into your creativity, to tap into a hidden strength, to tap into a hidden resource that you didn't think you had, but it was there all the time. It is the discomfort of life that makes us grow. I remember my summer between turning, I'll slow down for just a second, y'all, but really, yeah, I'm excited about this. I remember turning the summer when I turned, I went from 13 to 14. I graduated from junior high school and I went to high school. And I think I've shared this with you all before. And my friends did not necessarily see me over the summer. And so they missed seeing me over the summer. But when they saw me from the end of my junior high school years until the beginning of my high school years, I grew 3 inches in one summer. Now, that was very painful. 3 inches, Cutler? Yeah, absolutely, 3 inches. It was very painful. And that has always been a reminder to me that growing is not always comfortable. Growing can sometimes be painful, but there are people in your lives who are there for the sole reason of causing you to grow, causing you to move out from your comfort zone, causing you to do things that you've never done before, causing you to think ways that you've never thought before, causing you to seek goals and opportunities that you didn't necessarily know that you could reach. I'm telling you, there's a lot of times when we stop and say, "Why? Maybe I should just change the title of this discussion from what is happening to me, or why is this happening to me, to what should I be learning?" Because that's what we're talking about. How many of us have ever had negative people in our lives, negative forces in our lives, negative scenarios, negative circumstances, negative experiences, and we keep saying, "My goodness, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me?" Stop saying, "Why is this happening to me?" and ask yourself, "What am I supposed to learn?" Somebody would say, "Crickets, what am I supposed to learn?" So life has taught me, y'all, I don't get caught up or thrown off my game when the crap comes, when the mess comes, when the negativity comes. I don't get thrown off of my game. Not now. I used to. That's just me being transparent. Lord knows I used to. It would throw me off my game, rock my whole world. But now I said, there's a lesson for me to learn in this. And I sit back, I recalibrate. I'll step away, I'll exhale, I'll pause, I'll retreat. Because I don't want to come out looking out of character. I don't want anything to call me out of my integrity. I don't want anything to alter my demeanor. I don't want anything to cause my personality to be in contrast with my soul and heart and spirit. So I step back. So there's a lesson in this. I got it. And then life teaches me to remember that the only thing that really counts, the only thing that really matters is action. Because then I realize it's not always about what I say, it's about what I do. Life will teach you. We're judged by our actions. So be careful. Plan, Cutler, and then take actions. Life teaches us that. I got to go, y'all, but life has also taught me that everybody's life is difficult to some degree. And that is not to say feel good. That is not to say feel good, you all. Everybody's life is difficult. So I'm not saying when your life is difficult, don't be sad, don't feel down and out, don't feel gloom and doom and despair and misery. I mean, don't feel that way. That's not what I'm saying. Everybody's life is difficult, so be kind to people. When people are not kind to me, you know what I say to them? Their life is difficult. Their life is hard. Something is going on wrong in their lives. When people are not kind to me, I say there's a hole in their souls. When people are not kind, I say it's not about me. It's about them. There's something that's going on in them that they cannot treat everybody with love and kindness and respect and courtesy. It's not about me. It's about them. People's lives are difficult, you all. There ought to be some lessons that life teaches us. And one of the things life has taught me is that everybody's life is difficult at some point. Difficulty knows no barriers. It knows no racial barriers, no gender barriers, no religious barriers, no age barriers. It knows no barriers. Everybody's life is difficult. And when you meet people who are not kind, who are not personable, who are not respectful, who are not courteous, you say to yourself, what's going on in them is not a reflection of me. There's a hole in their soul. And what I would do is offer them the wisdom of my years. I'll offer them the benefit of my experience. And when they don't accept the gifts that I offer, I've learned to do this. Fold my gifts, turn, and say, they'll get it later. And if they don't get it, I got to march on to the next person because there's somebody waiting for my gift. I want to thank you all so much for sharing this space with me, whatever space you've allowed me to come in. Thank you so very much. As I started this conversation, I was saying to myself, hang on to the lessons that life is teaching you. You all remember I grabbed these books, and I was thankful that somehow I had the tenacity to write for the next generation. Give people the benefit of your life to the extent that they will receive it. And then when they seem to be ungrateful and unappreciative, don't let it scar you. Don't let it change your character. Don't let it call you out of your integrity. Wipe your hands, dust your feet, turn and walk the other way and say, there's somebody waiting for my gift. They'll get it because the most I see that I did while dealing with them was to plant a seed. And while one plants, another waters. It's not up for me to give the increase. I'll do my part in their lives while I can. I'll just keep on going. Thank you. I got to get out of here. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Let me see what you all are saying. Let me put my glasses back on. Auntie, my good friend, is good. I'm going to have to give you a call. It's good. Thank you for encouraging me, letting me know that this conversation is on track tonight. But let's learn the lessons that life is trying to teach us, you all. Stop wasting your time being angry. Stop wasting your time being miserable. Because that's not hurting anybody but you. It almost never works out that way, that you're angry, your misery, it never pierces them quite like you want. They don't know what you're carrying, but you're the one carrying it. Let's do this before we go. Exhale, and all of it, just let it go. Take a deep breath in. And then all of the anger, all the negativity, all of that stuff, all of the failures to learn the lessons that life was trying to teach us that we missed it. That's okay. Let it go. I love you all. From my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. Let's keep doing let's keep doing what we do, you all. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Let's keep our heads up and our hopes up. Stay safe and stay sane. I will see you all the next time I see you. But until then, tell somebody else, come on, Let's Talk to Cutler. Good night, everybody.